Good afternoon. I extend a warm welcome to all attendees this afternoon. My name is Dr. Lisa Lowry Lomas, and I am the Eastern Area Director of the Links Incorporated. Welcome to everyone, including members of the Links Incorporated, special guests, and most importantly, our students, who are the focal points of this celebration. Today, we highlight the significance of celebrating Black history through the lens of historical Black colleges and universities, and emphasize the unique artistic expressions and contributions of the featured HBCUs, the University of the District of Columbia and Norfolk State University, that will be showcased during today's webinar. I want to express gratitude and tremendous pride in the planning by the Eastern Area Arts Facets for curating this inspiring collection and in bringing this wonderful opportunity to fruition. The broader goal of this celebration is cultivating a deeper understanding of our history through the powerful medium of the arts. Thank you again, and enjoy this presentation.
Good afternoon. I am Marilyn Dillon, the Eastern Area Arts Facet Chair for the Links Incorporated. We welcome you to the Eastern Area's 2024 Black History Month program, celebrating our Black history through the HBCU art collections as we lift up America's 2024 theme, African Americans and the Arts. The arts is multifaceted, and it includes performing arts, literary arts, musical, and visual arts. Our historically Black colleges and universities were some of the first institutions to serve as repositories for African American art. HBCU museums, galleries, and archives have been stewards of these exceptional works of art, and they continue to do so today. Artwork by African American artists reflects the long history of African American art woven into the larger context of American art history. This particular program today will highlight the visual arts by previewing two of our Eastern Area HBCU art collections, as mentioned by Madam Director, most notably Norfolk State University and the University of the District of Columbia. And now, for our phenomenal art program this afternoon, please join me in welcoming to the virtual stage Dr. Aurelia Williams, Vice Provost for Academic and Faculty Affairs of Norfolk State University. Dr. Williams, please join us.
Good afternoon, Madam Eastern Area Director, Dr. Lisa Lowry Lomas, and my Eastern Area Link sisters. I am Dr. Aurelia Williams, the Senior Vice Provost for Academic and Faculty Affairs at Norfolk State University and President of our Chesapeake, Virginia Beach chapter of the Links Incorporated. It is indeed my pleasure to have you visit my alma mater and employer to share our HBCU art collection. At this time, I would like to introduce our phenomenal 7th President of Norfolk State University, Dr. Javon Adams Gaston, to extend greetings. Thank you.
Greetings, my Eastern Area Link sisters. I am Dr. Javon Adams Gaston, President of Norfolk State University and a member of the Norfolk, Virginia Links Incorporated. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today you have the opportunity to see and to sample our vast art collection that exists here at Norfolk State University in the archives of Harrison B. Wilson, as well in our African Art Gallery. We're so glad that you are taking the time to be a part of this. It is a wonderful thing for our community to learn about and to know what is available in the artworks from the continent to Norfolk, Virginia, which we have right here. So we're pleased that you are viewing us. We're pleased to be a part of this endeavor, And what I want you to know is if you're ever in our area, please come visit Norfolk State University, and we will make sure you have the opportunity to visit our archives and our art collection. And as we say at Norfolk State, we are the place where we behold the green and gold.
Well, thank you, Dr. J, for that wonderful introduction. My name is Tabia Gaston Rowe, and I am the Archives Specialist at Norfolk State University. I work specifically in the Harrison B. Wilson Archives and with the African Art Gallery. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the collection that we have in both of those spaces. If I could get my PowerPoint. Thank you so much. All right. So the Harrison B. Wilson Archives and the African Art Gallery are located in the Lyman Beecher Brooks Library, which was finished. It was completed in 2012. But both the archives and the African Art Gallery are much older than that and have been a collaborative work with the administration and the library for a while. Next slide. This is President Harrison B. Wilson, whom the archives are named after. He worked with Dr. Tommy Boger, our first university archivist, to establish both the archives and the African Art Gallery. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. The Harrison B. Wilson Archives was established at Norfolk State University in 1986 as a repository of non-current official historical records of the university. The archive's aim is to collect and preserve the historical record of African Americans in Virginia. During the summer of 1987, the archives moved to the third floor of the original Lyman B. Brooks Library, the president's former suite. And after a temporary stay in George W.C. Brown Hall, the staff consisted of the full-time director and secretary, which was Dr. Tommy Boger and Miss Annette, Montgomery. We can go to the next slide. In November of 1994, a 3-floor wing was completed in the library, and the archives moved to the first floor, where it remained until the library was completed in 2011. And with only a staff of 2, the archives has grown from a small collection to housing over 40 manuscript collections of prominent individuals and organizations, including an oral history collection. And it holds a collection of over 5,000 books, microfilm records, private papers of professors, administrators, students, and photographic material. We also have our own very small art gallery that is made up of works by local artists, alumni, and professors. We try to collect things that are of interest to the Norfolk State community. Next slide. The African Art Gallery was established in late 2005. And actually, that's not entirely correct. The movement to establish an African Art Gallery at Norfolk State first surfaced in 1994 when a new wing was being added onto the old library. And there was a large collection of African art by an alumnus, and he brought it to our campus for a few years, and that was established as the Lois E. Woods Museum. In 2005, we started to acquire our own art pieces through the cooperation of Norfolk State University Foundation. Instead of striving for a museum, we settled on a more modest gallery. The African Art Gallery in the Harrison B. Wilson Archives at Norfolk State University. We are devoted to enriching the multicultural and educational experience of the students at the university by exposing them to different cultures, challenging them to embrace international perspectives as they prepare to compete in a global economy. Next slide. So this is a photograph of what the African Art Gallery looks like now. We showcase museum quality, historical art, and artifacts from the continent. We house over 700 pieces of art representing 13 different countries in Africa, including Nigeria, Ghana, Mali, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Liberia. Our goal is to enrich the multicultural educational experience of students. Oh, I already said that. All right. And then on display, we have textiles, masks, currency, weapons, both ceremonial and practical, statues, furniture, games, clothing, instruments, and more. The art gallery showcases the creativity of the continent and the enduring contributions of African craftwork. You can experience the cultural expressions of the African diaspora in its unique form, divorced from Western and Eurocentric focus. All right, and then we go to the next one. So these are just a couple of images, and we invite everyone to come by. I know that's not always possible. And I'm going to quickly go through the next slides because I think I'm going over time. The next slides are some of the works that are featured in our Harrison B. Wilson archives, in our small gallery that we have with the local artists. If you go to the next slide. So one of the ones that we'll be talking about at length today is this picture, which is titled Maasai Warriors. It's by Larry Humphrey, or Larray, as you will come to know him. And his paintings were donated and collected by Dr. Tommy Boger. This is an acrylic painting, and you can see the influences, the Afrocentric influences. If you want to go to the next one. We have probably over 24 ceramic works by J. Howard Johnson, a professor here at Norfolk State University, was a professor here at Norfolk State University. And they are beautiful and fascinating to behold. And he still has a lot of his estate, I believe, still has a lot of his work for sale. He has been credited many times in the local art scene, and actually on a global scale as well. Next slide. This is one of the featured pictures that we have hanging in the Harrison B. Wilson archives. We actually have quite a few of these paintings known by the artist The Wiz, who, if I am not completely making this up, I believe is an NSU alumnus. Next slide. This is Outlets by Linda Brady. This one is fascinating because it has a 3D aspect that you can't quite see through this picture. But as you'll see in the description, it's oil paint, asphalt caulking on canvas. So every time I look at this picture, I wonder how she managed to do this, but it's quite fascinating to look at, and I'm very lucky to pass it every day as I come to work. Next slide. And this is Royal Family by Larry Humphrey. We have a interview that we did with Larry Humphrey. The university archivist, Mr. Paul Gilbert II, he did this interview, I'm sorry, with Larry Humphrey. And we're going to show that for you now as he talks about his work and his process and his, yeah.
Hi, my name is Paul Gilbert, University Archivist here at Norfolk State University. Reverend Humphrey has been an artist for almost 40 years now, primarily focusing on artwork that highlights the African diaspora, as well as scenes that showcase the bounty both in colors and vibrancy of the African diaspora. But enough from me. I'm gonna let my esteemed guest go into more details about himself. You will kindly.
My name is Larry Humphrey. I've been involved in art for as long as I can remember. Thinking way back, I remember when I was in elementary school, I drew a grasshopper. And the teacher was so enamored about the grasshopper that it kept me wanting to be involved in art. From then on, I drawed women in fashion, mostly in pencil and charcoal. And then I attempted to do something in paint. I think it was acrylic. I'm not sure if it was acrylic or oil in my early years. And later on, I went to San Antonio College and took up the major of architecture. And in architecture, I was attended classes in design, color, drafting, and so forth, and learned mostly about perspective and focal points and colors and so forth. But unfortunately, I left all my drafting equipment in my car one day and someone stole it. And because of the cost of it, I had to change my major to business administration. But after that, I continued my interest in art, and I went into the Army, U.S. Army, during the Vietnam War, and served in Vietnam for a year. Came back and renewed my interest in art. I believe I was in Germany at the time when I developed my art signature, Larry. I wanted it to be an art signature that was acceptable in Europe and the United States and so forth, so I came up with Larry. I began to paint a picture of Arthur Ashe, and I titled it Tribute to Arthur Ashe. I painted a tribute to Arthur Ashe's win over Jimmy Connors in Wimbledon. And that was the beginning of my notoriety, because then I wrote a letter to the Arthur Ashe Sports Center in Richmond, and they agreed to have it on display there.
You covered a couple of key moments or key people in terms of your developments as an artist. What would you say, in terms of a locality standpoint, were your biggest influences in terms of not just who you are as a person, but how that is reflected in the art that you choose to create?
Well, I tended to paint on things that were of interest to me. I took some undergrad classes, and one of them was painting with a brush instead of with a charcoal pencil or anything else. So I learned how to paint with the paintbrush. And from that point on, I really painted pictures that was of interest to me. While in Arizona, I painted a floral picture, the first I've ever done. And it got honorable mention in an art show. And so those are the kinds of things that kind of propelled me. There was no specific interest. My interest in Afrocentric paintings came when I had the idea of painting a museum quality painting. And the only thing that came to me was something African. I researched, at that time I was receiving travel magazines, Condé Nast Traveler, and so forth and so forth. And they had featured articles on Kenya and Nigeria. And so that grabbed me. I said, I want to do something like that. I want to do a museum quality painting. So my interest in Afrocentric art took me into a lot of Googling on Kenya and Africa and Nigeria, the Maasai tribe, the Samburu tribe, and I collected a file. And with the Maasai warrior piece, that was a composite of several different pictures. The focal point in that picture was the African shield, warrior shield. And then around that was 5 other different themes that I put together. And then I had to figure out how to transition them and have them flow so it would just be one painting and not 5 different paintings.
Pictures are worth 1,000 words. And for the artists, they're not just a message that you are saying to the audience. In some ways, they are a physical manifestation of your soul, or at the very least, the thoughts that you had running in your mind at the time of creation. What thoughts or what statements were you really trying to convey with your earlier work, Royal Family?
Well, that takes me way back, Paul. Royal Family was my first Afrocentric painting, and I came across some images that I thought I could use. I saw focal point, I saw color, I saw concept. I saw all the things that came to my attention that interest me. I did something with the background, established a background texture. I can't even remember now the process. But with the texture, then I applied some lines, connected the focal points. I think there was 4 or 5 different African features. I tried to show some intricate designs in the hair covers, the actual garments. It was an artistic feat for me to try to put that together. And it took some time, but I was well pleased with the outcome. And I didn't know when I took it to Art Atrium 2 that somebody would really, really like it and put it in their archives. But it was, for me, it was a complete process that I was satisfied with.
So thank you again for joining us for this conversation.
Thank you so much for this opportunity to have this interview.
Thanks again.
All right. Thank you.
Hi.
Okay. So we thank our university archivist, Mr. Paul Gilbert, for that interview with LaRae Humphrey. As someone asked in the chat, no art is available for purchase, but you can email me at archives@nsu.edu and I will let you know about local galleries or put you in touch with the artist. Now we go to the James Wise Gallery with LaKay, and I thank you for your time.
Good morning, everyone. My name is LaKay Umba. I am the interim gallery director at the James Wise Gallery at Norfolk State University. And today I'm going to talk to you about our current exhibition and a little bit about our past exhibition. And whenever you want to bring the slideshow up. Excellent. We can go to the next slide, please. So before I get into what is currently on display within the James Wise Gallery, I want to tell you a little bit about what led to the current exhibition. Last fall, we had an exhibition called Living Apart, Redlining, and it was an exhibition that highlighted the injustices caused by redlining within Hampton Roads and the greater area. And as you can see, the exhibition was very map heavy, and we had several maps on the wall and on the floor, and I'll show you some examples. But we the maps were color coded so that all of the areas that are in red were red line districts within Hampton Roads. And next slide, please. So part of the exhibition was to highlight some maps that showed the socioeconomic, health, and environmental injustices within Hampton Roads. There were photographs featured from residents in redlined areas. So they were given disposable cameras to take pictures of their surrounding areas. There was a large floor map and also some maps that kind of overlaid the redlining that was established in the 1920s and 30s, overlaid with current maps so you could see the effects with using statistical data. Next slide, please. And again, here's the photos that were taken by community members and a lot of statistical information and just various maps showing things like tree canopy cover and how that affects health, everything from heart disease to different types of cancer. All of those things were a result of environmental injustices due to the redlining practices that were established and put in the law books. Next slide, please. So the biggest draw to this exhibition is a floor map. And when you walk into the gallery, the first thing people want to do is find their home or their place of business, which you can, the map was created using drone footage and satellite footage. So it's a very realistic interpretation of our area from above. And it's very detailed down to the street names, and you can even find your own home. So the first thing people do when they come into the gallery is go in and try to locate their place of business or place of home. And on the next slide, the way that I can always find Norfolk State University is because of the large green football field that's in the middle of the map. But it's really interesting to go through to see how detailed it is. Okay, next slide, please. So that kind of led to how can our community take part in eradicating the environmental justices on a smaller scale? So we invited community partners and students to take place in a fashion show that was held during the reception for the redlining exhibit. And what they did was create outfits that were made from discarded t-shirts. The young lady on the left in this photo has a selection of keys that she collected. On the right, the outfit was made from jeans. The middle one was a dress that was sewn from old t-shirts. And we wanted a way for individuals to, we have the heaviness of the injustices of redlining, but we wanted to invite people to think of ways to keep things out of landfills and to make our community a cleaner and better place. So that was the idea of why we had the fashion show. Next slide, please. Here are two more looks from the fashion show. The one on the left was made from old fabric. That was a community partner. The one on the right, our students put together a backdrop where the models posed during the fashion show made out of recycled newspapers. So we thought that was a good connection between keeping our waterways clean and bringing it to fashion. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so now we will talk about the current exhibit, which is called Revolutionary Threads, Sustainable Fashion with a Purpose. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so at the entrance of the gallery, and this is the James Wise Gallery, which is kind of like a bridge between the community and Norfolk State University. We have a lot of people visiting just to see what we have in the gallery, but it also features artworks from students, former students, faculty, community members, and we also have nationwide exhibits as well. But when you walk in from the lobby area, this is the first piece that you see on the left-hand side. This is actually an interactive community exhibit. And so guests are welcome to place a pin, it's a red heart pin, in the area where they live or they spend the most time. And overlaid with that is also the red line too, which kind of draws back to the previous exhibit. So you can see where exactly you live and if you live in a red lined area. Next slide, please. The call out on the top right is a zoomed in version of Norfolk State University. So as you can see from there, Norfolk has a lot of redlined areas. And at the end of this project, we will collect all the data and create some additional artwork based on what we learned from the pins and where people are actually residing. Next slide, please. In addition to the map that's interactive, we also have a selection of questions which ask people about their neighborhoods, where they reside, and if they feel the effects of redlining. So that's also another interactive part of our installation right now. Okay, next slide, please. In addition to the fashion, we had some students who reacted to the redlining installation, and their reaction to the injustices from redlining. So I have a couple of those on the next two slides. You can pull those through. So this one was created by Amanda Leonard, and her piece was about pollution. As you know, or if you don't know, Hampton Roads is surrounded by water. So we have rising sea levels always on the forefront of what we're talking about, but also how does pollution affect the rising sea levels. And her piece is acrylic, but it also has plastic waste and paper that she collaged on top of it. And the next one is from Ayanna Whitner. She created a piece called Pollution of the Deer. And this one was acrylic. And she also used pencil shavings as part of her collage as well. So I asked them to refer to traditional art movements from history and interpret them from today based on the environmental information that they learned visiting the gallery. Okay, next slide. So here is the entrance when you walk into the gallery from the other side, which shows the front view of all of the pieces that are installed right now. Most of these were part of the fashion show. And I have a couple of close-ups. Next slide. So this one was from Jeffrey Owens. He is a community partner. He made a hoodie and a pair of pants from discarded t-shirt materials and jeans in different fabrics. And on the next slide, this one was made by Sonia Phillips. She took the assignment to the next level, and she created this outfit from coffee bags, discarded denim, plastic, and paper waste materials. And she also created a little handbag to go with it too. And believe it or not, this was also part of the fashion show. So somebody actually put this on and walked down the runway. And this one was created by Aaliyah Washington. She used old jewelry, body jewelry, pendants, safety pins, and a lot of different discarded metals that she had collected over time. And she attached them to a dress. And this was also we put certain pieces on the red board to also draw the connection to redlining once again. And here is another view where you can see all of the boards, and you can see just how large this map is. And in fact, I'm told this is the largest printed map on record, and we have it in our gallery. And there's another view on the other side. And here's the view from the back corner of the gallery, featuring some more of the outfits. And okay. And on behalf of the James Wise Gallery and Norfolk State Fine Arts, I want to invite you to check it out if you're in the Norfolk area before February 16th, and come and see the garments in person. And thank you so much. And now I would like to hand it over to our colleagues at the University of the District of Columbia. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Annie Watley, Assistant Vice President, External Relations at the University of the District of Columbia. I extend warm greetings to Madam Area Director, Dr. Lisa Lowry Lomas, and to my Capital City Chapter President, Michelle Bernard, and my chapter Link Sisters. I hope you have joined us today. On behalf of the University of the District of Columbia, President Maurice Eddington, and the leadership of Vice President of Advancement, Rodney Trapp, it is with profound appreciation and respect that I extend our warmest greetings. We're honored to participate in this esteemed Black History Month program. This not only reflects the strength of our ongoing partnership, but also your unwavering commitment to education and community empowerment. We express our heartfelt thanks for the past generous support you have provided to our students from the Eastern area. Your support has been instrumental in not only alleviating financial burdens, but also in inspiring our students to achieve their academic and professional aspirations. It is through your generosity that we are able to continue our mission as a historically Black college and university, nurturing and preparing future leaders who are equipped to contribute positively to our society. The University of the District of Columbia takes immense pride in its designation as a land-grant university, the district's only public and an HBCU. We understand the vital role that HBCUs have historically played and continue to play in advancing educational opportunities for African American students. We are keenly aware of the significant impact that HBCUs have on our community, fostering environments that celebrate cultural heritage, encourage academic excellence, and promote civic engagement. It is especially meaningful to us that many members of the Links Incorporated are esteemed graduates of HBCUs. This shared heritage further enriches our collaboration as we collectively strive to uplift and support the next generation of leaders. As we celebrate Black History Month together, we look forward to not only commemorating the achievements of African Americans throughout history and also forging new paths of success and innovation. Together, we can continue to make a significant impact, empowering our students and enriching our communities. Thank you once again for your generous support and for the honor of participating in your Black History Month program. We eagerly anticipate further our collaboration and building even stronger bridges between the University of the District of Columbia and the Links Incorporated. I'd like to now welcome UDC Vice President for Advancement, Rodney Trapp, to take you on an exciting and vast journey of the University of the District of Columbia's outstanding art collection.
Thank you, Annie. Good afternoon, esteemed members of the Eastern area and guests. It is a privilege to be before you, not only as the Vice President of Advancement for the University of the District of Columbia, but as someone deeply moved by the vibrant threads of African American art woven through our shared history. I'm astounded, particularly with Norfolk State, At UDC, we don't have any formal galleries yet we have some extraordinary art collections. And so we have a lot of work to do so that we can catch up with our friends and colleagues over at Norfolk State. In my role, I oversee the UDC Foundation, which safeguards over 300 pieces of our prestigious art collection. My journey, actually my personal journey, into the heart of African-American artistic expression began over 30 years ago under the tutelage of Dr. Maya Angelou and the visionary Howard University art professor, Dr. Tritobia Benjamin. Their legacy fuels my commitment to illuminating the rich tapestry of African-American creativity, especially as we celebrate Black History Month. The University of the District of Columbia stands as a beacon within the HBCU community, champion African-American heritage and education amidst the urban landscape of our nation's capital. Our mission is grand, yet we face the daunting challenge of elevating our art collection from the shadows of neglect and administrative deprioritization, making it a beacon for scholars, for artists, and community alike. Please start the PowerPoint presentation. As HBCU, our role is to extend beyond education. We are custodians of culture, safeguarding the stories and expressions that define the African-American experience. Despite facing financial hurdles, which impact our ability to maintain, exhibit, and promote art, our resolve is unwavering. We strive to ensure that these voices, captured in strokes of brilliance and moments of sculptural grace, are heard and seen by all. The PowerPoint presentation hasn't started yet. Thank you. Join me as we embark on a journey. The first slide, please. As we embark on this journey through selected masterpieces, embodying stories of struggle, resilience, and beauty. Next slide. From Richmond Barthay's portrayal of movement and grace in Head of Dancer to Alma Thomas's vibrant atmosphere, Mars, and color, these pieces not only celebrate African-American artistry and history, but they also provoke thought and on the boundaries and expression and the narratives we choose to elevate. Each work has a story that beckons us closer, inviting introspection and dialogue. Imagine taking a stroll through this virtual gallery. I will introduce the work and artist, allow you to take a beat, to take it in briefly, and then I'll give you my own personal reflection. Let's begin. Next slide. Richmond Barthay's Head of Dancer. This sculpture is not just bronze on pedestal. It's a dance of resilience and grace, a silent testament to Barthay's philosophy of sculpting the emotions woven through the heart's rhythm. Barthay once remarked, "I create what I feel in the heart, not what I see." Next slide. Elizabeth Catlett's Negro Woman. Here, strength and beauty are immortalized, speaking volumes of Catholics' unwavering commitment to justice and her profound connection to the women whose lives she so elegantly portrayed. Next slide. Thomas Victor Downing's Grid 13. Downing's canvas is a labyrinth of color and form, urging us to navigate the complexities of African-American existence, to look deeper into the abstract realms of identity and belonging. Next slide. Sam Gilliam's New for Now. With 14 Sam Gilliam pieces in our collection, Gilliam challenges us to contemplate the essence of artistic freedom. His draped canvases a metaphor for the boundless possibilities that await beyond the conventional. Gilliam's work asks us to ponder, what boundaries are we breaking today in pursuit of justice and equality? Next slide. Richard Hunt's Sea Change. Overlooking the outdoor amphitheater on our Van Ness campus, this monumental sculpture sits 12 feet high. It is a dialogue between material and metamorphosis, a reflection on the relentless pursuit of identity and self-expression. Next slide. Lois Malloy Jones, Eze Rivera, France. Jones invites us on a global journey. Her canvas, a bridge between cultures, a reminder of the universal language of arts and its power to transcend boundaries. Jones once said, "My paintings are my prisms through which I view the world." Next slide. Huey Lee Smith's Man Leaning on Wall. This particular painting is very personal for me in terms of my academic exploration. In fact, I still have the research paper that I wrote in Dr. Benjamin's class. Got an A, by the way. Lee Smith delves into the solitude and contemplation that shadows the African-American psyche. He offers a mirror to the introspective soul relegated to societal margins. Next slide. Edward A. Love's Paul Robeson's Totem. A tribute to Paul Robeson's indomitable spirit, Love's sculptures encapsulates the essence of resilience and the enduring legacy of art as a catalyst for change. Next slide. Lou Stovall's For Ascending Larks. Stovall's mastery over silkscreen celebrates the liberation found in the natural world, a reminder to seek joy and elevation in the simplicity of life. Next slide. Alma Thomas, Atmosphere, Mars, and Color, a vibrant tapestry of chaos and beauty. Thomas's work is a testament to the struggle and triumph inherent in the African-American journey, urging us to find splendor amidst tumult. Thomas actually earned her degree from the UDC, known back then as Minor Teachers College. Her work, by the way, is currently on display here in Washington, D.C. at the Smithsonian African-American Museum. I mean, not Smithsonian American Art Museum. Next slide. James Leslie Wells, Orpheus and Musicians. Wells blends mythology with contemporary struggle. His use of African motifs within classical themes, a call to the enduring power of narrative in the quest for justice. Next slide. Charles White's Silence, Sound of Silence, #2. White's lithograph is a profound meditation on the African American experience, a solemn reminder to heed the unspoken tales and the silenced voices that echo throughout history. White believed in the power of art to tell my people's story. Last, but certainly not least, next slide. Hail Aspasia Woodruff's Celestial Gate. Woodruff's canvas is not just art. It is a vision of aspiration, a narrative woven from the dreams and achievements of a community striving beyond the confines of society. Next slide. This journey through UDC's art collection is a stark reminder of the work ahead. Our mission is to transform these hidden treasures, many of them in storage, as you can see, into pillars of enlightenment, illuminating the path forward. The obscurity of UDC's collection reflects a wider issue of visibility and representation in the art world, necessitating concerted efforts to bring these works to the forefront of public consciousness. By leveraging digital platforms like this webinar and the HBCU Digital Art Project, forming strategies and strategic partnerships, and securing funding, fundraising is my day job, we aim to transform this hidden collection into a cornerstone of cultural education and inspiration. Our exploration today merely scratches the surface of UDC's art collection, highlighting the diversity and depth of African American artistic expression. These works not only honor our history and culture, but also captures us and compels us to ponder the future of African American art and its role in shaping societal narratives. As we reflect on the artistry and narratives unveiled today, let us reaffirm our commitment to the preservation, celebration, and accessibility of African American art. Next slide. Inspired by words I penned in an article journal in graduate school years ago, Whose Renaissance Was It Really? Was the title. Let this moment serve as a clarion call to support and uplift the artistic heritage that defines us. I urge you to support HBCUs in their mission to preserve, showcase, and celebrate African American art. Your support is crucial in enduring and ensuring that these vital cultural assets gain the recognition and appreciation they so richly deserve, and in fostering a richer, more inclusive world. Thank you for your gracious attention and for joining us in this celebration of African American artistry. May we carry forward the inspiration and resolve to ensure the vibrant tapestry of our culture is cherished, explored, and expanded. Ashe. Next slide. This concludes the presentation for today, at least the presentation portion. Now I invite my colleague, my co-conspirator and friend, Valerie Cooper, to lead us in a spirited Q&A session. Val, take it away.
All right. Well, I am just so full right now of all of the knowledge and cultural enrichment that you all have provided to the viewing audience out there. Let's give both Norfolk State and UDC a resounding round of applause. And I'd like to mention that Rodney mentioned the importance of supporting our HBCUs and their collections and visiting their campuses. So when you have an opportunity, please do take a chance. We have a minute or two for one or two questions. And I believe one of the questions that we saw early on was, is any of this wonderful artwork available for sale? You have whet the viewing audience's appetite. So Tabia, do you want to answer that? And then Rodney?
Yes, ma'am. None of the artwork that we showed is for sale, but I do have the ability to put people who are interested in touch with the artists and the art galleries that do have a few of their works for sale. And I believe Mr. Humphrey in particular has prints of some of the art that he has bequeathed to us. So you would email me at archives@nsu.edu. I look forward to hearing from all of you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
And likewise, as you can imagine, we pulled out all the stops and showcased our masters, none of which are for sale, and none of our current collection is for sale.
All right.
If I may chime in, anybody wants to connect with the designers, they are always willing to sell or make custom outfits for anyone as well too.
Okay. We have another question and it reads, are there any upcoming celebratory events that will highlight HBCU art collections for Black History Month? So I think, Lakay, you talked about your fashion design exhibition. Rodney, is there anything happening at UDC that we need to stop by for during the month of February?
We have a very small student gallery, and they often have rotating exhibits. And I believe that there is a current a student show in the gallery. And so it will be open and available for Black History Month. So please do drop by the campus. You can stop by our student center to find out the location and the times of the gallery opening.
Okay. And I'll share a couple of events that I'm working on for links and their guests that are located in the DC area. Many of you know that I'm on assignment at the Smithsonian American Art Museum that is under the direction of Stephanie Stibich. And one of the things we're hosting for Black History Month is a wonderful talk on championing Black artists. And that will be on February 25th. It's a Sunday from 2 to 4 p.m. And it's also going to be virtual. The entire DMV is invited to come in person, and anybody else can log in. Another really exciting event is for links in the New York area, as this is an Eastern area webinar today. The Metropolitan Museum of Art is opening a groundbreaking Harlem Renaissance exhibition, and it also opens on February 25th, but will run through July 28th. So you have a little bit of time to see that. What's really exciting about the Met exhibition is major works from HBCU art collections, Clark Atlanta, Hampton, Howard, Fisk, and I can't leave out Sam, which is the largest lender of works by African-American artists. Notably, William H. Johnson will be on display. So with no further ado, I want to thank you all once again on behalf of our Eastern Area Director, Dr. Lisa Lowry Lomas, and our Eastern Area Arts Facet Chair, Marilyn Dillon. Thank you all for celebrating Black History Month with us on our journey of Norfolk State and UDC's HBCU art collections. Have a wonderful afternoon, everyone. Come back soon, and I look forward to seeing you in the galleries.
And sing till earth and heaven rings, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the faith that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kiera.
Are we alone?
Looks
Not yet.
like-
1 minute. 1 minute. Thank you.